Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to welcome you to this Zoom presentation all the way from St. Mary's College, Chisubi. And I'd like to welcome the team on ground that is going to be bringing us live what is happening right now at the school farm. I'm hoping that we'll enjoy the session, and at the end of the session, we'll be discussing the learning points out of it. Thank you for joining us and welcome. Hello. Yes, Joran.
Yes, Mr. Dungu.
Nice to be connecting to you. How is Smack?
Smack is very okay.
Okay. I hope it will not be raining today as it did last time.
It may rain actually.
Okay.
It may rain.
So
as you can see.
Yes.
As you can see in the background, these people have started to chop the maize, but they are saying they will be preparing silage tomorrow.
Okay.
The first group has chopped the maize at the farm here.
Okay.
Yeah, they have chopped the maize, so we are just waiting for the other group to join us. Yeah, Mr. Mutesa has just gone to call them briefly.
So is Dr. Semambo there? Can we speak?
Dr. Semambo is quite far. He's at the roadside there.
Okay.
But he's coming.
He's coming.
He's coming.
Can you signal to him to come and we have a chat with him?
Okay. Let me do that.
Okay.
Okay. This is the farm.
Are there some animals nearby?
No, we are just where the maize are planted.
Okay.
The animals are just on the side. They are quite far currently. Yeah. I think you are able to see them.
I can see the
Some
animals.
are outside.
Good. Okay.
So let me first call doctor.
Please do. So ladies and gentlemen, we are at the St. Mary's College Chisubi farm where they are trying to improve the nutrition of animals so that the boys can get more milk and that will improve on their nutrition. But at the same time, we are teaching them how to improve the nutrition of animals in their communities so that our farmers out there can get more milk and hence more money. So it's good to be connecting to St. Mary's College Chisubi, and right now we are waiting for Dr. Semambo, who is a volunteer and supporting agriculture education in schools, and we are happy to be connecting to him, and shortly we'll have him online. Okay.
So we are first going to the farm side.
Yes.
Then we start.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is very good to have such an experienced person joining to train the boys on very critical skills for our country.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Yes,
Mr. and happy to have you.
Yes, Dr.
Online now.
Yes, Dr. Semambo, go ahead and tell us what's happening in SMAC now.
Yeah. You're welcome. You're welcome, and we are straight in the field, and I'm going to tell you what we've done since morning.
Yes.
Since morning, we have been here with the Anis 1 class, S1D, and their four streams is ABC. This is S1 class.
Yes.
We are at the farm.
Yes.
We went through the process of silage making. I did inform them that we have 4 components, about 4 or 5 or 6 components or departments. We've got the dairy, we've got the piggery, we have the plantation of banana, then we have the culture as one of the main ones and smaller ones. And I told them that today we're going to have a practical approach to the theoretical knowledge that they received in their primary school, and then also in their primary school. I mean, their secondary school system here. While these boys have been here, they've done the first preparatory stages of silage making. And I told them the equipment that we went through the value chain with the process mapping of the activities that are important, from the making of the different types of silos. I informed them that we are going to make silage, 2 types of silos. One a surface silage, and the other one, the next one, is a pit silo, and that we are going to use both maize and elephant grass, and we are going to compare the performance of the 2 types of silage to the animals as far as meat production is concerned. So we did that. And then also I told them that we were going to fence off the area where the silo pits are going to be placed. So we divided them into 3 groups. One group was to remove the soil from the pit that has been dug. Then the second activity is to fence off the measurements, which they have also done, that we are going to put the fences, and the barbed wire is going to be put. Yeah. Then the third activity is the cutting. So there've been 3 groups, and I just want to show you the activities that have been done by the groups. And the boys have done a wonderful job. That was in the first lesson, which took about an hour. So this is a pit, a shallow pit, which is silo, which is going to be where we're going to put maize. And the boys, about 30 of them or 25 of them, removed all the soil and put it on either side. And what actually mesmerized me was the joy with which they took the shovels and the spades right to remove the soil. They were almost really fighting for them. And within about 30 minutes, they had actually done that one and finished it. The second activity that has happened is the measuring of the different holes and digging the holes where they are going to put the poles for fencing off. I don't know if this can be seen properly. So these are the ones. They've done that, and they were measuring 7 feet. Because it's important to know what we're actually doing. And there was also excitement, definitely, to make sure they do. Each of these pits is 2 feet. Make sure the poles, when you put them, they're going to be firm. The activity, we can go and look at it quickly, then we shall come back. The third activity has been to cut the maize down, because that's what we are going to use to make or to chop and make the silage. We are walking down there, so if you can just bear with us, we shall see what the boys in S1 have done. Then after that, I'm going to explain to the next team, which you look at, which you see. Now this is the maize, they're getting there, which the boys have chopped. I've cut down, not chopping, but cut down. And we've done that with Mr. whom you talked to, of course. So this is a maize which has been chopped by the boys. with
Wonderful.
Mr. Mutesa, who is an agriculture teacher.
Yes.
I'm going to let him talk to you about what he has made the boys do in this part of the field of cutting the maize, how he has guided them to cut the maize. Mr. Mutesa,
Mr.
training
Mutesa,
session and the discussion.
you're welcome, Mr. Mutesa, and thank you for all the work you are doing. I'm happy that this is happening, and please get encouraged to continue. Could you tell us what has been happening with the boys there?
This morning we have been harvesting maize. We are going to use to make the silage. So we have been working with the senior one, D. We have showed them how to cut the plant. We cut from the ground, taking the entire crop from the soil ground, that you take the entire stalk, the maize cob and all the leaves. So the boys have cut, they have collected the material together in 2 heaps, small heaps. They have been heaping as they cut the heap in convenient amounts that can easily be carried. And if you look at the maize plant, it has all the parts intact. From the ground, we have the cob, and all the leaves. So we are going to have all this chopped and enslaved to come up with a very nutritious feed for a dairy animal. So these boys have now come to know that when you have to prepare a dairy meal, that is silage, which is pasture or forage preserved in the succulent form. You start from the garden, you harvest. Tomorrow you're going to take them to the silo, they will chop and enslave the material so that we come up with a feed that can feed animals properly and they produce what we expect from them. So this is where we have cut the maize. We still have more maize we're going to harvest.
Yeah.
We are continuing.
Okay, so what is the next group going to do?
The next group is going, let us go and see because it has come.
Yes.
The next group has come.
Yes.
And they are going to continue where the S1 Bugundi.
Mr. Wambale, can you show me the back of Dr. Semambo's t-shirt? There is a good writing there.
Okay.
Youth in agriculture, exploring the opportunities in the farming value chain. Okay, that is very interesting, and I can see the activity going on is feeding in that. Okay, let's move to the boys now and get into that.
So the boys, we are going to the second group of the boys, and they are.
Ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you, we are at in Uganda, and it is an agri-skilling exercise where we want the youth to learn skills in improving agriculture. Uganda is an agricultural country, and we are hoping that when the young are engaged, then they can go back to their communities to change the way of life, but also they themselves know what to do in future as we fight unemployment. So over to you, Doctor.
Yeah, so this is a group of about 20 young men, bigger than the one that you saw, and they're taking agriculture. Maybe they'll talk about it better than myself because they are experts by now. They are going to get distinctions, I believe. They've said amen.
Okay,
I want to believe.
Can I have one of them speak to me? And I would like to welcome the boys to this Zoom meeting. Hello, boys. Are they hearing me? Hello. My name is.
Yeah, they are all here.
The president is going to talk.
Okay, my name is Mr. Dungu, and I'm sure you are familiar with the name, and I'm happy to be meeting you online. So can you tell us about the activity you are going to do, or tell us about the subject of agriculture.
By the name's Chizito Humaid. I'm in Senior 3C and I'm offering agriculture as my optional. And I'm the president of a Greek club. Here in SMARC, we are trying to improve the facility here. The agricultural facilities, like right now, we are trying to put more pools here, putting more feeds for the animals that we have on the farm, of which the number right now is not enough. We need more animals on the farm. And on other things, the structures, we're trying to come up with at least new structures on this farm for even silage. We are putting it there down. We want to have more feeds for the animals.
Yeah,
Okay.
so these boys haven't, they have not done silage. We're doing silage from the word go and taking part or for taking care of all the principles that are important for making silage. And so where that group said stop, that is this group taking agriculture are taking from there and taking on from there. What they're going to do now is to finish the fencing off where the holes were dug by the S1s. They are going to put in the poles, and later on they will come in and even do the putting on the barbed wire. So they learn how to do it. Some of them have never done it. But I think this is important for them because tomorrow they're going to do fencing, not only to fence off the area where the silage is going to be put, but to fence off even other areas, maybe for banana or any part or a paddock as an aspect on the farm. But also, secondly, for the time between now and the time they go for lunch, they're going to also take part into the actual cutting of the maize on another part of the maize that's going to be ensiled. So what you're going to see now is them putting the poles in the holes, and then we shall walk together with them with hangers, and they actually do the actual cutting of the maize, which is going to be carried on to the silo area. So boys, if you can go and
Doctor, before they leave,
okay.
Just to request, if I can request that the 3 activities they're going to do, we showcase them in maybe 10 minutes so that we have this record complete, because we may not be here for 2 hours. But also I want to inform the boys that at 5 p.m. we request that they come back to the field, because we shall be connecting to other schools like Gayaza, Iganga, SS Muyenga High School, and we shall be seeing what is happening in the other farms and what you will be doing at 5. So just to let them know that this experience will still be with us at 5 p.m. and we hope the Agriculture Club will be able to join in. So Doctor, let's have the demonstrations for each activity so that in the next 30 minutes we have a record.
Okay, so
So ladies and gentlemen, just to remind you that St. Mary's College Kisubi is pioneering strongly the improvement of agriculture education in schools together with other schools. And later on at 5 p.m., we should be able to connect into the other schools to see the activities. This is a trial to see how we can make use of ICTs in knowledge sharing. Of course, with a lot of learning, you can see we have shared with St. Mary's College Kisubi this morning, and we hope that using ICTs, we can be able to pick learning from one school and deliver it live to another school. And we want to thank UCC that is pioneering in this effort, and we are hoping that Uganda Communications Commission through the Rural Communications Development Fund will be able to stay with us as schools to enable this experience reach even other schools. So over to you, Doctor.
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dung. Now, what you are seeing us doing is the boys are placing the holes, the poles in the holes. Now these holes have been measured. Each pole is being put at 7 feet up from the one before. So they are going to be in line just to make sure that all subjects, as we really stress, are very important for any activity in the farm to be done. So there's definitely some mathematics here that has happened, that each of these poles is 7 feet from each other. And then they are being put, so make sure they're in a straight line. There must be order. So they're doing that now, as you can see. But also each hole is 2 feet deep to make sure that the pole stays for a long time. And also the material that we chose to get these poles from was eucalyptus, which had grown for about 30 or 40 years. So actually they're farm poles which are being used to make sure that the fence that is made stays and endures for a long time. Yeah, so they are making sure that their farm, and that is important. Another aspect which is quite important is for the boys to know, or for the students really to know, that this work is not only done by people who didn't go to school, that even if you did go to school, it's important to know the basic principles of agriculture, so that even if you've got your own farm either at home or as they grow, that these things can be done. And for me, my experience has been that even as a trained person, there's no way you can teach a person to do something if you yourself don't know how to do it and you think you're going to be efficient. So, and the joy of having these boys do these things at their tender age is that they know that things are done by human beings, and also know the challenges, but also the benefits in doing them if they're done right in the right way.
Okay,
and so this one, yeah.
Mr. Mutesa, if I may ask, was this a normal class for agriculture, or you asked teachers to give you the boys, this particular group?
A normal class.
So this is their scheduled time for agriculture?
Yes. Now what we are doing now is telling them or showing them how to establish a dead fence, a barbed wire fence. It is part of the syllabus that you have to know the fences that one can establish on the farm. So what we are putting up now is a barbed wire fence, which is under the dead fences. And we are showing them the importance. Now that we are putting up silos here, you need to be protected from animals and other intruders. Now these boys are trying to put up the fence themselves, and they also insulate the material themselves, and then appreciate the knowledge we give them theoretically in class. Now they are doing it themselves, and they're actually appreciating everything that we teach them in theory. So it is important that actually the boys experience this kind of knowledge from a tender age, from a younger age, and they grow up with it. So that in the future, they know exactly what is meant to be done when they become the real people that are going to be practiced in agriculture.
Okay.
And now,
go on.
Yes, please.
Go on, doctor. Continue, please.
Yeah, the thing is almost getting to a stage where we're going to leave it at, and then we go to the silo. There's an activity I want them to do before we go to the field to do the cutting of the maize, if that is okay. So boys, can you come after putting the...
So ladies and gentlemen, you can see what we are talking about. It is about practical learning. It's not about theoretical learning. Most of our schools are engaged into theory, and that theory is not helping us in the development of our country. We are hoping that we can translate the theoretical lessons into the practical lessons. And many more teachers, many different subjects can be brought on board, because I could see the measurements that are done in mathematics. I could see the spacing, which is important about certain topics. But I can also see the English language teacher asking these boys to write compositions and stories from their experience. Over to you, doctor.
Yeah, so we are, so boys, what we are going to do here, as you can see, this is silo. Okay, the types of silos that we're going to make here. I informed your colleagues in the first lesson, this one, that we're going to make 2 types of silos. One is going to be a semi-surface silo for maize, and the other one is going to be a silo whereby we are going to put elephant grass, which is down there. Now, this is a silo which has actually been measured. And we hope that we are going to get about 40 tons of silage when it's been finally made. The measurements are, if you want to measure, where is the tape? Bring it. Tape measure. Tape measure.
The manager is going to
Tape measure. Top measure, and I want you to measure this. Measure the width, the length, and the depth. The depth here, the depth there. Hurry up, hurry. So measure. Yep. So they are measuring the width, because that will determine the volume of the material that you are going to put. So how many meters is that? So this is 4 meters. Okay, if you can take note of that, then we take the length. That was 4 meters width. Now the length is what? What we have to end? Okay, it's okay. It's about 10. And the length is about 10 meters, and then the depth here. First the depth there and the depth here. Yeah. What's the depth there? So here so that it can be seen. Yeah. The depth. At the deep end. That's about 1 meter. About 1 meter. Then come and take this at the beginning. The shallow end. The shallow end is about 2 feet. Okay. And now the essence. So what you're seeing here is this: is that it is slanting from the shallow end to the deep end. Okay. Now what I want you to do very quickly. You may not finish it, but try to do it, because once we start making the silage, okay, we want to have another slope, but it's not. It doesn't go direct. So can you just using your hose just dig off the soil, with a hose and
make a slanting kind of.
Yeah.
Into this one.
First of the hose, then we shall use the Just give some space. It's some hard work, but that's okay. Hard work doesn't kill.
So, Doctor?
Yes, please.
Why are you taking measurements for the hole?
So the measurement, the goal is to have about 30-35 tons of material inside this pit, and so the shallow end is about 2 feet. That's the measurement. The shallow end, and the deep end is about 1 meter. The width is 4 meters, and the length of the whole pit is about 10 meters. That will give us, finally, when the silage is made and properly filled, about 40 tons of silage material of maize. That's what you want to try to get. And that helps, because then when you know the measurements, then you know the other materials that you're going to use in silage making, the materials that you need, apart from the maize that we've talked about, or elephant grass, and in this silo we are going to use maize. The other materials that you need to use molasses. Molasses is one of the byproducts of sugarcane when you're making silage. I mean, when you're making sugar from sugarcane, it's one of the byproducts. And of course, really, that is mainly sugar or carbohydrate or fermentation. Then the other material that you need is tarpaulin, because what you want to have is anaerobic fermentation, whereby you drive out all the oxygen, because if you live in the oxygen, then you're going to have aerobic respiration taking place, which will cause rot of the material. Now, once you've done the measurement, then you know exactly how much of each of these materials are going to need to have ready, because you have to have all these materials ready before you start making the silage, because the making of the silage is actually, once you start, it's like a roller coaster. You just have to continue and you don't want to stop. So the measurements are important to know the amount of material that you're going to put in terms of the silage, but also the amount of molasses you're going to need to increase on or to fasten the process of fermentation, but also the amount of the tarpaulin that you're going to use. That one will have to be put on all the sides of the silo pit, because that's what you're going to use to cover. So the boys are now making a slanting at the shallow end, so it becomes easier for them to go in. Eventually, because we talk of anaerobic respiration to cause fermentation and make alcohol, which is going to be the preservative production, you want a smooth entry for the boys as they go in to cause a compression at different parts times of making of the silage. Though this one is going to take place tomorrow.
Okay.
So this area is going to eat. Yeah.
Yes, of course, as a teacher of mathematics, I can see we do calculate volume of shapes like this you've created, yeah. And I can see it looks closer to a swimming pool. So instead of a teacher, I think calculating volumes of swimming pools, they had better get to calculate volume of silage pits, because in the village, yeah, it can be done. In all the parts of the country, it can be done. Otherwise, we talk about swimming pools that other children never see at all. Okay, so are we moving to the next activity?
We're going to the next activity. But maybe just look at what the boys have done so far. It's not yet perfect, but that's what you really want to do. So gentlemen, maybe you can go away so this one can move the soil. They will continue. So now they've done the slanting. It's not perfect yet, but they make it better. Now the other group, just throw it on this side. The other group is now removing the soil. You know, just put on the other side. On either side. What is it? So the second group is removing the soil which has been
Could you just find out if there are any boys who have never used spades in their life?
So boys, you've had a question. Who of you have never used a spade in your life and this is your first time? Just be bold. Okay, one has tried.
Yes, I think
no, put on the side.
It is something common with our schools where children of the elite, yes, go. They don't know. They read about the hoe, they read about the spade, but when you ask them what does it do, they can't have an experience of it. And I think this is very good.
one of the most interesting things that I've seen as I worked with these young men is the joy of doing what they're doing without really being pressured into doing it. And I think this is great because then we know that even as they get into offices, they're not shunned doing this work or showing how it can be done. And that is a good aspect. It's an attitudinal problem these days, but when they start at this tender age, it's a good training, and that's why I really want to put my time to it. And I think they're doing a good job.
Okay, Doctor, can we move to the next activity?
Yeah, move to the other activity. Let's get the pangas. Can you get the pangas? Just get the pangas.
So, Mr. Dong, we are getting to where the maize plantation is.
Good.
Yeah, we are getting there.
Remove this one.
Okay.
We're going to be cutting the maize. And when you are harvesting, we harvest the entire crop apart from the roots. So we cut the crop at the ground level so that we take all the material, including the stem, the roots, and even the cob. This cob here. Because we need this carbohydrate which is in this maize here. This maize contains what we call grains. The grains are there. And we say that when you are harvesting maize, they are at a milky stage, when the grains are at the milky stage. So when you look at this, it is milky. And it makes the best quality silage. So we harvest at that level before it has overgrown, when the grain is hard and dry. So when you're harvesting, you're going to use a sharp hanger and hold the plants and the cut at what? At the base. So you have the entire plant, and we shall keep the material together in piles, small piles for easy of carrying the soil pits. So I want you to start.
Before you start, maybe for everybody, because it's a teaching aid to the rest who will be able to see it. As just out of what Mr. Mutesa has said, can you imagine one of the benefits of using this conservation sort of method is that normally when the animals just graze, if this was just a grazing area, okay, grass could grow up to this, even if it is maybe 1 foot, even if it's the rainy season. But the animal just eat that, it's that height very, very fast. Now you can imagine the same animal from the same area eating from this height rather than you. So by conserving this, cutting it as you've been demonstrated to, and which you're going to do, the animal is eating from, okay, almost, because I'm about 5.9 or so, but this is about 7 or so. So the animal is eating 7 feet product okay, of the product, whether it is elephant grass, which is even taller, or this maize from the same area. So you end up harvesting a much greater quantity of a feed for the animal in the same area. So what you're doing is to increase on the efficiency of same product from an area. If you grow a product and conserve it, and if you just let it for animal to graze. Okay, so you can, and as you can see, this maize was grown in lines. So what you're going to do in cutting, as Mr. Mtes has told us, you get each person, you get a line and go on to cut. Okay, so off you go. Yeah, each one get a line and then you move on. So some will be cutting, others will be gathering.
So ladies and gentlemen, we can experience what the boys are learning, and it is very interesting that they are learning this at a very early age. How many of our farmers know about this conservation approach, and how many extension workers do we need to reach all the farmers? But our hope is that as we train the boys, they go back to the different communities, different villages, and they pass on this training from their home to the community, to the churches, and the ripple effect can reach far farmers. This is why we are interested in engaging students at the school level, at the youth level, such that we can have a bigger and faster multiplier. It is very important that we turn our schools into learning centers, community learning centers. We give them practical skills so that we can be able to see a ripple effect for better agriculture within our country. I'm excited that this is happening in St. Mary's College, Subi at this point in time, and I can guess the excitement amongst the boys, but also the learning that they're going with today. I'm sure they are going to be better citizens of our country. So over to you, Mr. Wambale.
Yes, actually, those are the activities going on. However, rain is actually starting to drizzle. It may affect us this side.
Could you just confirm with Mr. Mtesa, if you can bring him online, whether at 5 we'll have a group coming or this particular one returning to be able to talk to the rest of the schools? Mr. Mtesa, at 5 p.m., will we be able to have this group or somebody in the field to help us talk to the other schools and also see what is happening in the other schools?
Yes, we shall be back. We shall be back in the field with this group and get interaction with the other groups or other schools.
Okay, Mr. Mtesa, I must leave you at this point. I want to thank you and Dr. Semambo for the teaching you've done. And Dr. Semambo, do you have the last words to the people who are listening in for the support we need to develop this in schools?
Yeah, thank you very much, Mr. Dungo, and really for everyone who is listening in and who will, the schools that are very important. This is a program that we began some time back, and is actually growing. And Mr. Dungo, thank you very, very much. Now, to those of us who are seeing and listening in online, there is no better way of equipping our young generation than letting them do it themselves. And something that I remember, which one elderly person told me that about agriculture, but which cascades into even other areas, that about agriculture, the challenge that we're having these days is that people don't want to engage into agriculture practically. Yet, and which is very important, and you're encouraging me to stay in, that most of everybody eats what is produced in agriculture. So it is a product, it's a program, it's an activity which will never end because man will never stop to eat. So, but the more we involve the young people, the more, even teachers, and that's one of the things that is important because teachers have expressed an interest in also learning how to make silage. I think if the teachers and the students get involved in agriculture practically, that would be very good for this country. Thank you.
Yes, we would like to thank you, Dr. Senmambo, for all that you are doing for schools, and in particular today for St. Mary's College Isubi, and tomorrow, whatever work you are going to be doing. It is important that we continue this in schools, and there are many people who are going to watch this video online, and they can see the learning that goes with it. So we will see you at 5 if you will still be at St. Mary's College Isubi when we bring on other schools online. They would also be talking about the activities they're doing, but also will want to see what is happening in St. Mary's College Isubi.
Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I won't be around in the afternoon, but Mr. Mutesa will. And I don't know that tomorrow we can do something, because tomorrow, what we are going to be doing, and I wish it could come, is that we shall then be taking this maize near the silo pit where we have been. We are going to get a chaff cutter, or 2 of them, and the boys are going to be chopping, learning how to use this machine. 2, we are going to be learning how to mix the molasses with the water, the quantities, and that's mathematics really, and physics, and chemistry really, all of them together. And we are going to practically be preparing for anaerobic respiration as opposed to anaerobic respiration, whereby then we shall be driving out the oxygen as the compaction goes on. So I wish this could also be seen, but I don't know how practical that one is going to be. But thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Senmambo. Thank you, Mr. Mutesa. Thank you, Mr. Bwambale. Mr. Bwambale, I will get back to you later on in the day, and after 5, and then we talk about the other possibilities. Thank you, Mr. Bwambale. It's been great joining in this College Isubi, and please let's meet again at 5 p.m. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.